Max is saying that he's looking for things outside the world of Formula One that are fun and interest him.
We're going to be seeing people not get off the line, and we're going to see half the people get into turn one, and their car fails.
Car is slow, so slow that our team chef could drive it. Bro, the fucking chef in the kitchen could drive these cars. Why would these guys want to race in Formula One?
Kiki.
Raw, raw, sweat, sweat, these new regulations fucking suck, and why can't these cars turn around, turn 10 at Bahrain? Welcome back to the Break Late Talk Fast. This week, the Bahrain testing has just wrapped up. 3 days full of cars going off track, locking up, and not looking drivable in the slightest.
These cars are not making me horny for this season. This season, I was so keen for it. As much as, the regs seemed a bit weird, the 50-50 engine split. I was kind of keen. But after this lot of testing now, and what the drivers have been saying, I'm not keen.
No, it's just I watched all three videos that F1 channel posted on YouTube, and day one it was all these cars going off the track, and Audi having PU issues, Cadillac was broken down, Ferrari looking somewhat decent for some reason. Fucking the hopium is real for Ferrari. Mercedes sandbagging. Day two came along and it was the exact same repeat. All the cars going off the track. The times were so slow. I think they were in the 136s in the first day or 35s. Got down to the 134s and have now on the last day just broken through the 133s. Which for Bahrain, I don't know the track time, but that's got to be bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure last season we were in the 126s from memory. 126s, I think we were. So this is a lot slower. But mentioning the 133s, the fastest man on track, Kimi Antonelli, my boy, he is up there. Hey, the early signs are here. Is he faster than George Russell?
Well, he's about 3/10 faster than the man. Yeah, Kimi got a 133.669 and Russell was just behind him with a 133.918. And they rounded up the top two fastest times for the entire testing, which comes after, Verstappen just called out Mercedes straight to their face saying, look, you guys are sandbagging. Everyone knows you have all this hidden pace and you're just not showing it. Because in the first 2 days of the Bahrain testing, they didn't really put much effort into their times or anything.
No, exactly. And Leclerc also came out saying that Mercedes are hiding a huge amount of performance. So who's really hiding performance? I think based on what drivers are saying, I think Mercedes are sandbagging and they're just trying to throw it back onto Red Bull. And I think, teams are hiding performances, which they always do, but I think Mercedes, they're hiding much more than what they actually have.
Yeah, whenever questions were directed to George Russell about, oh, are Mercedes you showing your full strength? He's like, yeah, 100%. But I feel like Red Bull, Red Bull just haven't seemed to put their best out there, but we know they have the best engines. I do believe that Red Bull are probably also sandbagging, but Mercedes are the dominant team. I mean, I feel like I've said this for the last 5 weeks. Mercedes have the best engines. There's no way Red Bull's team or car is going to be better than Mercedes.
Yeah, I don't see Red Bull beating him. I definitely see Red Bull being up there in the top three for sure, based on testing and all that. But Mercedes, man, I think they just really created the perfect car coming into this season. And we'll have to wait to see till Australia when we really see the key performance in qualifying. But it does look, and they've got the drivers for it too. So I think Mercedes, they are on track for a great start to the season.
Yeah, but honestly, the main topic of this week's episode is going to be how bad these cars are. It is so disappointing. And you know what makes it even worse? You have three of the best drivers in Formula One. You've got Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, all three of them absolutely just chatting shit about these new regs. And that's so concerning for the fans as well, especially when Lewis has said none of the fans are going to understand what the fuck is happening on screen or on track.
That's concerning. If Lewis Hamilton, the GOAT, is saying that, Max Verstappen's talking shit, Fernando Alonso, will we see these three on the grid next year based on what's happening at the moment?
Well, it's actually concerning because we have Max is saying that he's looking for things outside the world of Formula One that are fun and interest him. Lewis Hamilton's contract expires at the end of this year for Ferrari, and Fernando Alonso has stated that if this season is shit, he's retiring. So we could lose three of the biggest names in Formula One in at the end of 2026.
And that means we'll only have one or two world champions left on the grid. That is insane.
What? No, it would just be one. It would just be Lando Norris.
Well,
Oh,
and then
and the winner
whoever
of
wins
this
this
year.
year.
The
Yeah,
winner
whoever
of
wins
this
this
year. Yeah,
year.
it's
Which
unless
hopefully
one of
isn't
them,
Lando.
unless one of them win it magically.
Oh, which would be insane. But hey, that would be insane to the sport. I feel like we would lose a lot of fans if them three left all at once. And I feel like it'd be hard to recover losing the best driver on the grid, a GOAT, and a two-time world champion in Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, that's just not very hubba hubba, if you know what I mean.
It's
But
not hubba hubba.
honestly, but Max saying that these cars feel like Formula E on steroids just highlights our biggest concerns with these regs. We were saying, oh, the 50-50 split in engines, like we don't want it to be like Formula E. We don't want it to be all about battery deployment and recharging your battery. And guess what? That's all this sport has become for 2026.
And talking about Formula E, he was spotted on a private jet going where?
To Jeddah, where Formula E are holding a media thing, and they've got all the team's cars and everything, and there's a spare car there, and the president of Formula E just had an open invitation to Max Verstappen saying, "Hey, if you want to come over here, try yourself out in the Formula E cars, get yourself ready for F1, you are more than welcome." And then Arvid Lindblad was spotted there as well. So
Which shows it shows where Formula One is going and what drivers are having to do now to get ready for Formula One. They're driving Formula E cars. Is that not a bit embarrassing for Formula One?
I think it has to be because Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport. It's all the rich people in the world, and yet rich people don't give a fuck about sustainability. They don't care. They're all flying on private jets. They got their yachts. They got all this, all that. Mates, V10s, that's all you need, V8s. I just don't understand why are they going electric with these cars?
Yeah, like, I get the sustainability and all that. All businesses are doing that around the world. But I feel like you said, this is the pinnacle of motorsport, right? And yeah, they're trying to set a good brand image, but there comes to a certain point where you're going to start losing fans. You're going to lose the drivers who love driving cars that are roaring and, they got V10s in it, not electric cars. So I feel like if they don't make a big step to going backwards to V10s or just not this 50-50 split, I feel like we're going to start losing a lot of fans and drivers to that.
Well, that's what it comes into what Fernando Alonso has been saying. So here's just what he said. I've got it quoted out here. Here in Bahrain, we're going 50 kilometers per hour slower through turn 12 than we used to, just to save energy for the straights. The car is so slow that our team chef could drive it. Bro, the fucking chef in the kitchen could drive these cars. Why would these guys want to race in Formula One?
Yeah, it's all about the car now, no? Like, I feel like the driver is just in the cockpit. They're just there. They're just there. They're just turning the steering wheel, and that's it. They can't really get the most out of the car anymore because based on the engines, how it's built, I feel like it's just going down a route that it's not meant for drivers, really. I feel like anyone, like Fernando said, anyone can get in that car and drive it.
Yeah, literally, you, me, bloody the people, the old grannies that can only drive 5 kilometers around their house will probably get in that car and tear up. It's so concerning. And he even said something else is like, if you go back, 10, 15 years, you didn't have any of these buttons they have on their steering wheels in the cars. It was just down to the drivers. Now there's all these driving assist, ERS deployment, the DRS and everything. It just has made the racing anti-racing. It's not what it's about. It's become about technology and not car racing.
Yeah, and I understand the technology because everything has to develop, right? But I feel like they're trying to overdevelop and they're trying to make it all about the car and not the driver. Really.
That,
That's
that's
that's where it's going.
that's exactly what they're doing. We don't want the fucking Formula E. There's a reason why no one watches that thing. It's because it's boring. Yeah, okay, there can be some cool moments like there is in every single other form of motorsport, but Formula E fucking sucks.
In comparison to F1, the pinnacle.
Yeah.
So let's just hope it doesn't go down there. And then back to Aston Martin. Lance Stroll said that Aston Martin are 4.5 seconds off the pace, which is insane. Like that Honda engine really just can't handle whatever's going on. I think from what came out that they can't handle 8,000 RPM and they can only handle a 7,000 RPM, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Which
so I think it's supposed to, everyone else can do 12,000
or
RPM,
12,000.
and I think they can, yeah, only get to, I think maximum 10,000 RPM. So that's why they've found 4.5 seconds off the pace. And I saw, like, this is one of the greatest rivalries in motorsport is Fernando Alonso versus Honda engines.
I think Honda's gonna come out on top again. I think
But
Honda loves stiffing Fernando Alonso.
oh my God, when this guy was at McLaren and they were using the Honda engines, oh my God, that was his worst time in form. He retired because of them. Fernando Alonso retired because of the Honda engines, and now there's going to be a repeat at the end of 2026.
He's gonna run it back, baby. Retire again because of Honda. He's gonna spend his the rest of his life against Honda if this happens.
It's actually crazy. And also, quick little detour. Lawrence Stroll mentioned in the Epstein files. This guy.
Wait, what was he doing in the Epstein files? That's what I want to know.
Apparently, it's just an email he sent to Ghislaine apologizing that his wife couldn't be there.
Oh, so he was gonna go diddle some kids. That
It
is
was
crazy.
it was a Diddy party on Epstein Island with Lawrence Stroll.
And unfortunately, his wife couldn't go, so they couldn't go.
Oh
Hey,
no, my wife couldn't come. I'm sorry, guys. Couldn't make it to Epstein Island.
oh God, that is crazy. F1 is now in the Epstein files.
And you know who else is there as well? Flavio Briatore was mentioned in it. Jean Todt, the old was he Ferrari or McLaren guy?
Yeah.
You know what's even funny? Jeffrey Epstein mentioned in his thing saying Jean Todt is an odd guy.
Oh my, wait, Jeffrey Epstein
Jeffrey
had
Epstein said this.
Mate, I wonder what he's into then. If he's an
Yeah.
odd guy, that is crazy.
But you know who
No.
didn't show up in the Epstein files? Christian Horner, which blows my mind, man. Horner kept it in his pants for once.
You get in his pants. He likes doing it within the team. He doesn't go to any islands. He has his own
Yeah.
team to do it in.
He has his own island.
He has his own island. It was called a Red Bull.
Red Bull Island. But yeah, we come back from that detour. Lawrence Stroll and Jeff Epstein's island. But circling back, Max Verstappen saying that he wants to leave, basically retire from Formula One. And then someone else had to say something. Lando Norris, if you couldn't hate this man anymore, I'll give you another reason. He clapped back at Max Verstappen, who said he was going to retire. Says, if Max doesn't like it, he can retire. We get paid a stupid amount of money to drive, so you can't really complain. It's a fun challenge. If this was the first F1 car he ever drove, he'd say it's amazing. Which I completely fucking agree with. I disagree with. I do not agree. I do not agree.
Hey
I do
yo,
not agree.
you're right. Hey, I can only agree to a certain extent. Like they're earning shit tons of money, right? That's it. But hey, Max is saying that he will leave, which he was probably going to hold himself to. He will leave if the cars are bad, right? So I don't know what Lando Norris is trying to get at there.
I just feel like he's trying to make himself like a good guy saying, oh yeah, these F1 regs, they're going to be fine. It's like we get paid all this money. If it's a shit year, it's a shit year, whatever. I feel like with Max Verstappen, he's the best driver on this planet at this point in time, and he wants to be driving in the best sport. He doesn't care about the money. He doesn't care about the fame that comes with it. He just wants to race. Where Lando Norris
Yeah.
seems like he's there for the money. His dad literally paid millions for him to be in the sport, and now he's making millions from it. So of course he's going to be fine with these new regs. But Max Verstappen is more than money.
Exactly. Max lives and breathes racing, right? He's going to be racing till he's 50 in any type of sport. He will always be racing some type of way because he is addicted to racing. And like you said, he's not in it for the money. He's there to just win. All he wants to do is win, race cars. There was a podcast that he came out and he said that he would wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and would have a thought. He would get on the sim and start practicing. So that shows the type of person he is and that he's willing to leave the pinnacle of the sport, F1, if it is not up to where he wants it to be.
Yeah, and I don't blame him because if you're driving these cars, was F1 is the last few years, like racing's been great, it's been good, and now these new regs and with Mohammed Ben Sulayem and the FIA, the rules that they're implementing in the sport, they can't speak, they can't say anything. They now can barely drive the fucking cars, so why would he not want to leave?
Now, what would happen though if Max Verstappen was to leave the sport? Because it would be huge if he left the sport for the brand image of F1. I know F1 would try to throw any type of money at him to keep him because he is the sport right now, really. So if he was to leave, what would actually happen to F1?
If Max Verstappen was to leave Formula One, I think viewership would drop off massively. Because we are saying this a few weeks, heroes need villains. Max Verstappen is a villain. Everyone's too nice in the world at the moment in F1. You need him in the sport. His racing is insane. His racecraft, his pace, everything he brings for the sport. I think, honestly, it's entering dark times, and Max Verstappen probably will be gone by the end of the year.
And that would be so sad because, hey, I watch F1 for Max Verstappen because he puts on a performance week in, week out, no matter what. And he does the impossible that most drivers cannot do. Like, you look back to last year, like Japan, like, that was insane, that qualifying lap. And then winning the last, I think, 6 races in a row or whatever it was. Like, he was insane last year in that bad car. So I feel like without him, it just would not be as entertaining. And I think it's getting down to that point where it's becoming political, like Lando Norris just agreeing, saying, "We make money. These are the cars we got. We're gonna drive them." Like that is so boring.
No, it's not what you want to see in a sport, and it's actually like this is probably the worst period of time in Formula One in recent history because yeah, you're gonna lose fans, support, you're gonna lose your drivers, which is who you need for the sport to be successful.
And I feel like
So
I feel like the only way they will change is if the viewership drops off because and then they lose sponsors and then they will revert. So I feel like the only way for Formula One to come back is it to go down before it comes back up because I don't think they will change it.
it's so sad though, because you've got Lewis Hamilton. He says none of the fans are going to understand it. I don't think it's so complex. It's ridiculously complex. I sat in a meeting the other day, and they're taking us through it. It's like we need a degree to understand it all. You shouldn't need a
Whoa.
degree to watch Formula One, mate. I don't need a PhD from Harvard to watch Formula One, mate. I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm barely awake. My one eye's closed, the other one's open, and I'm struggling to watch Formula One, but I love it because it's so much entertainment.
But yeah, I just don't know what to expect with all these comments coming from these goats. Like Lewis Hamilton, man, like it just the statements he's coming out with is just making me like rethink what's going to be going on this season. Like saying that, like needing a degree to fully understand it all. Like what does that even mean? What are we like going to expect?
I, I don't know. And you know what's wild? Lewis Hamilton also said that we are slower than F2 right now. The F1 cars are officially slower than the F2 cars. Lewis Hamilton stated it. This is what we don't want to be hearing at all. Like, if we wanted to watch F2, we'd watch F2. We want to watch F1. We want to see him flying past, and we're not going to get that this season.
That's actually sad. If that is true and they are slower than F2 cars, what's the point? What's the point of having these categories where F1 is the pinnacle but slower than F2? I it blows my mind. It blows my mind, and I think they just made a huge mistake on these new regulations. They haven't had the time to actually spend doing it, and they were just more caring about sustainable stuff, not the cars, keeping it sustainable and eco-friendly and all that bullshit that no one, like the fans, actually cares about.
Hey, and he said that they're doing 600 meters of lift and coast when they're in Barcelona. Bro. But to be fair, him and Leclerc would be really good at that because it's Lyco all the time for them.
But like I agree. I feel like most drivers will have to do that to charge their batteries for the straights. And that's going to be so sad if they're lifting and coasting on half the corners through the track because we're not going to see him diving into the corner. We're not going to be seeing him, using the car to the max. They're going to be strolling around the corner and then using all their battery to stay in front of the car behind them. Where's the overtakes? It's going to be so boring.
I don't know if you've seen, there's a video of Nico Hülkenberg in his Audi car on a recharge lap, recharging that battery so he can have try put in a quali lap, right? Or a race pace lap. He's charging for half the lap, right? He goes past the start line, doesn't use it until he takes the first turn and comes onto the next straight, turns his energy boost on. Over before the halfway mark of that straight. So he spends half the track recharging his battery for it to be gone halfway through the first straight.
The whole battery.
The whole battery gone. And
So
you can see his paddle shift it's not getting enough RPM to make it to the next.
No way.
Yeah.
So how do you even recharge the battery and how do you even use the battery to make it work? Like if you're losing it halfway down the straight, you're gonna lose top end speed. And how does it even work? What's the point of having a battery? Get rid of it. Like, what's the point?
Mate, just put a horse in front of you, horse and carriage racing, baby.
Mate,
That's what we
I think
need. That's
that would be so
sustainable.
much more
That is
interesting.
sustainable.
Hey, Ferrari should win that one.
Ferrari. They got a horse on their badge, so it makes sense.
It
But
does.
the thing that irks me the most from this Bahrain testing was the practice race start. I don't know if you guys are listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, pause right now, go and search the practice race start in day 3 of Bahrain testing. It is the most woeful thing you'll ever see. We've got 8 cars pulling up to their grid spots. Of course, Colapinto's at the back. Bro lives there. Like, he's never going to be anywhere else, so it doesn't really matter. But he fucking ends up on the grass, pulling up into his grid box. Like, first of all, I don't think that's the car problem, and that's the driver problem. So we'll leave him out the equation. But they're all there. It goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lights out, and away only go 3 cars. The rest didn't make it off their marks.
That is insane. So we're going to be seeing cars stationary on the race starts because they can't get off the line.
It's just ridiculous. Like, I saw a thing that they can't reach the RPM in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Wow, imagine if they couldn't reach the RPM in 5 minutes. That's crazy. They couldn't reach the RPM in the 5 seconds they're given. So they may potentially, in Melbourne, be having a 10-second wait for the race start, or it'll probably be a rolling start.
Nah, if they do a rolling start, I honestly might turn it off. Like,
I
how
will
is
turn it
that
off.
racing? How is that F1? A rolling start is the most boring start. Whenever there's a safety car or a red flag, we always hope it's going to be, I mean, a red flag, not a safety car. It's going to be a grid start. Whenever it's a safety car start, it's so boring. And if they're going to start the race like that, what's the point?
Yeah, it just I feel like the best part about the race weekend is quali and the race start. I swear to God, if there's a rolling start every single race, I don't think this podcast will be a thing anymore.
Hey,
Because it's just so
I'm leaving the podcast if that happens.
Yeah.
We're out of here. We're gone.
yeah.
But go back to Franco. He did his race start, right? And then what? And then his car failed at the end of that straight.
Oh, he did
You
too.
see?
It did too. Yeah. So he's just going
His
along the
car
straight and then it
failed.
just dies. He used so much power revving up that it just shits itself.
So we're going to be seeing people not get off the line, and we're going to see half the people get into turn 1, and their car fails, and they stall it, and they're out of the race. So we might see half the grid not make it past lap one.
I guess maybe the race starts will be interesting then, because even if it's a rolling start, someone's car's going to lose power and crash into everyone else because they can't brake.
Oh my God, this is the biggest joke F1 has been in a very long time. Like I can't think back to a time where it was this bad, I think.
No, it honestly, I
I just
don't. I don't. The only thing I can think of is there's one moment. There's a race. It was in Indy. The race at the Indy 500 track,
yeah.
and this was back when F1 used two different tire makers. So they had Bridgestone,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think the other it was Bridgestone and Pirelli. I think it was
Pirelli.
those two.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the other tire that wasn't the Bridgestone could not drive on the track. So they're all doing the outlap, and then in pits 14 cars. So then for the
Oh
rest of
my.
the race, there was only six cars.
That if we repeat that somehow, but because of durability, that is the craziest thing ever. And that won't be just like a normal, just like one off. This will be a reoccurrence for
Yeah,
for the season as well. This is not just going to be an India thing. This is going to be Australia, China, Japan, Saudi
Saudi
Arabia, and so
Arabia.
on.
It's. I just wonder what this means for quali. Like, are these lap times going to be impressive? Last season, every single lap time was breaking a record, and now we're moving so far away from ever reaching those times. I reckon not at the end of these regs, we won't even. It won't be like the end of the last regs where they're breaking records left, right, and center every single race.
No, I agree. And I just think this will not make qualifying as exciting because in quali, they push their cars to the limits. Like they push their cars to the absolute max. But now they're going to be lifting and coasting so they can get energy for the straights. So we're just going to see the cars going quick in a straight line. The energy cuts off because it's maxed out, and then they're going to coast the rest of the way into the corner, nice and easy through the corner, and then energy again. Like it's going to be so boring.
It's going to be so boring because it's going to be Ferrari dominance, the Lyco gods. This is a reg set they've been waiting for.
Can they do it though?
Oh,
That's the
it's,
question. Can Ferrari do it?
I don't even know. I don't know, bro. I
So
really hope it's less than a month away in Melbourne. We
three
just
weeks.
get
3 weeks.
racing. I
3
hope
weeks.
this somehow turns around 3 weeks away. I'm not confident. I am not confident whatsoever.
And I feel like let us know in the comments if you have any, you know, problems with Formula One that we didn't mention. Because I feel like there's a lot of stuff we didn't mention that we've been seeing news on and stuff that's happening with the cars, the drivers. Like let us know because I feel like and let us know if these are the worst regs that we've seen in testing forever because I think it is. Like we'll have to wait to Australia, but I think this is the worst type of cars we've ever had in testing.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. You got cars just pulling over during testing because they're broken down, and then an hour later they're back out on track, and that can't happen in a race. Once that happens, they're done. Like they'll be 50 laps behind, and 50 laps is normally an entire race anyway. So it's actually concerning. It's a big concern. Is F1 heading in the right direction? Honestly, don't think so. These regs are just sort of justifying why I don't think that Formula One is at the peak right now where it should be. But hey, we can't do anything about it. Let's just fucking hope it's somewhat entertaining so we have shit to talk about.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
But yeah, honestly, I think that wraps up this week's episode. Bahrain testing done. The first actual sightings of his cars was a major flop. Yeah, pretty disappointing, pretty depressing. But you know what isn't depressing? Us. So make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok for daily clips, memes, and F1 news at the Break Late Talk Fast podcast. And make sure you're subscribing to us on Spotify and YouTube at the Break Late Talk Fast podcast for daily clips. Oh, wait, no. Not daily clips, memes. That's fucking TikTok and Instagram. For weekly episodes every Tuesday at 7 p.m. We won't catch you after the checkered flag because unfortunately these cars aren't going to make it past it. Catch us after the checkered flag.
Peace.